Like a mugger on a moonless night, it sprang from the shadows. No chance for a fair fight, no chance at all. Papers in order, neatly stacked on my...
Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? Hey, listen, I'm going to keep going over this and going over it. You got to come up here and read these descriptions, okay? You'll have a much better understanding of exactly what everything in here does, as well as what you want to use it for, okay? Now, I want to go up to Google, and we're going to look at some EQ sheets or charts for vocals, all right? So all you have to do is come up here and Google vocal EQ charts. To use the image, as you can see, you're going to have all of these frequencies, and it'll tell you, if you have a nasal voice, how to get some of the muddiness out of your vocals, how to add shine or top into it. And you can see all these charts, okay, like the frequency chart that we looked at for the instruments. Everything is pretty well a set standard, okay? It's kind of like mathematics. It doesn't change, okay? So you can get some real good information here. So let's go ahead and jump down in Reaper, and I'm going to show you what I've done since the last video. Okay, guys, so what I've done is I've simply come in here and split a couple more tracks. I've turned all the gates off here, and what I'm doing is I'm actually putting this together as I'm building it in the X32. I'm also building it in Reaper. Reason being real simple. I'm not in a band. I don't have a band. If I did, this is what I would be doing. If the bass player was out or one of the guitar players were out, you record all of this during your practice sessions, and then you can come up here and you can pull these and make them blend in exactly, regardless of where you're going to play. Okay? You can always have that individual. I mean, life happens. People get sick. Could be in the hospital, could be at a wedding, could be on vacation. A gig comes up, somebody's out of town. And that's why I'm building it this way. Now I have muted one of the tracks here, the lead box, track 1, okay, and the backup. And these are just duplicate files in here. One's in stereo, one's in mono type of deal. And that's going to reflect over in the X32 edit, okay. Now guys, over here in X32 edit, as you can see, here's the 2 muted tracks here and here. As well as I've went in and I've used my sends. I have one channel insert, and that's on the main left and right. I've added compression, gating, and EQing with the everything that comes through. When we talked about the EQ, everything, every track that you do should have some type of EQ on it, even if it's low pass and high pass. But everything does have a purpose with EQing, okay? And there's a real old saying that it's better to move your microphone than it is to move your EQ. So, you're not in a studio, you're out there on a gig. You want something you can put up there if it sounded good at the last gig, and it was a particular size room, then you can automatically go back to that and say, okay, this is how I want to set this. When I say that, as you can see, I'm going to load a preset. And I'm simply going to come over here to the Fierce Captain. And I apologize. I'm in the wrong spot. Let's go up here. Okay, well, I'm just going to pull any of these, and I'm going to say load. Because all these adjustments that I've made for this particular song in my particular environment, as you can see, I've saved every one of these. So this is what I was talking about. I've got my one folder, the Fierce Captains, at the helm. And everything that I'm doing, I'm putting into that folder, including the tracks that I will be using. And like I said, you get to a place, you got to do a gig, you can come up, you can use this stuff, you can put it right back in there. Okay? So, you basically have two types for your FX controls. Okay? You've already got this built in for your FX 1 through 4. These are your racks. Okay? These are on your sends. Okay? So over here is your sends. You can see FX 1, 2, 3, and 4. And visualize it like this. This is from the analog world. You've got the X32, or you've got your board, and you've got to send that signal out into a FX rack, okay, in order to get that FX applied to that signal. Now, you also have the returns built in, and these are your returns right here. Okay, same thing, 1 through 4. Okay, these are in stereo. So, once you get that signal into that external FX rack, you've got to bring it back in to that channel. And that's what your returns do. And you'll see this as we go through playing some of this music. You're going to see I've got some mute groups up here. Number 3, as you can see, I'm muting all the effects. So that way we can kind of do an A-B comparison. Okay. So I'm going to go up here and we're going to start with the guitars, and I'm going to loop a section of audio so we can go through and listen to that, okay, and just see what it sounds like. Okay, guys, so now we've got our signal coming in, so I've got the effects muted, and I'm going to unmute the guitars here, and let's just listen to them.
Like a
Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the effects into them. Okay, so up here on this particular, the dimensional course, there's not a whole lot to this. Okay, right now I've got number 1 and number 4 depressed, and let's go ahead and unmute the guitars now, and I'm going to start going through these one by one, turning them on and off. Sorry about the redundancy, guys, but this is what you're going to hear. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn this one on. And what you've got to do, guys, is just like your plugin. You've got to come up here and you've got to play with these, okay? That's why it's vital for you to sit there and read the instructions, read that manual, read what it tells you what every single item does, okay? Because you're going to have to tailor it to your own sound. You're going to have to tailor this to your own style of music, to the room that you're in, to the gig that you're playing. Are you outside? Are you inside? This is part of what being a sound engineer means, okay? So let's go ahead and go through, and we're going to just keep doing this. This is the chamber reverb. This is the stereo delay on, off. Now the stereo enhancer, guys, these plugins, you can use them on several different things. Okay, listen to it. You hear those highs? Hear the brightness? A little bit more bass. And this is going to be with everything. Okay, now not only am I using this for the guitars, but I'm also using this for the vocals as well. A lot of these, going back, like I said, FX, the 1 through 4 racks can be assigned to buses. They can be channel inserts. On the FX 5 through 8, these are strictly inserts. Okay, all you can do is insert this. So let's go ahead and listen to this, the fair compressor. I like it. I use it all the time. So let's go ahead and watch it. Can you hear the tremendous difference that makes when you switch it off? I'm going to go ahead and set up some vocal tracks, and we'll listen to that. Now keep in mind, guys, that we've already went through here, okay? Same thing, all our EQs, all our gates, all our compression has been set, okay? And I wanted to go up, and I know this kind of jumping around in order, and I apologize for that. But, the person doing the high harmony, if you look at their EQ, as you can see, I haven't done a whole lot to it, but I did do a large roll-off on the low end, okay? If you put this on RTA, you'll see this. As this comes up, and I'm going to try and catch these as we go through here, okay? It'll show you what frequencies are coming in there. If you don't have that on, you won't see those indicators coming up, okay? So let's go ahead and jump back now to the vocals and unmute them, and we'll see what we got going on.
13 days sailing through a haze, fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm.
Can you hear that?
Fierce captains at the helm. Oh.
You hear those tails? That echo effect that's coming through here? All right, guys, at this point, I'm going to come over to Reaper now, and I'm going to play this song all the way through, okay?
Like a mugger on a moonless night, it sprang from the shadows. No chance for a fair fight, no chance at all. Papers in order, neatly stacked on my desk. If these were my last days, make it easier on those left. 13 days sailing through the haze, fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. 13 days sailing through a haze. Fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. It took 7 more to see the shore, and know I would see you once more. Dante's Inferno, 7 levels in all. That vicious virus, 100 times more. 13 days sailing through a haze. Fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. 13 days sailing through a haze. Fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. With their skills and dedication, set me ashore to live my life once more. 13 days sailing through a haze. Fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. 13 days sailing through a haze. Fierce captains at the helm, fierce captains at the helm. Fierce captains at the The fierce captains at Penn Presbyterian Medicine. Thank you.
Okay, guys, so as you can see, I'm using different sins, different levels of the sins to get what I want off of each of these inputs. Okay, now the next video we're going to work on some drum tracks. This particular group of tracks here, that there's no drums in it. So we're going to go over some drum tracks, and then we're going to go back over and start picking out and changing all these FX up, and we're just going to try different combinations. Okay? Take care, God bless, and we are out of here.